Hello and welcome to a new episode of the weekly Molehill, episode 2 for this week. And welcome. What you were seeing here in the background is Evil Genius 2. This is the developer Q&A you can find on their YouTube channel. And man, there was a week. So if you don't know what the weekly Molehill is, it's basically a recap of the week and a little bit of a preview of what is coming next week. What is coming next week? Evil Genius 2 is actually like the biggest part we have next week, but we will talk about that in time. We will not cover that immediately because it is time to take a look at this last week. And the first thing I really want to do here is do a huge shout out to all the new viewers coming in, to all the likes, to all the new subscribers. I know you're mostly here for Evil Genius 2, and I appreciate the hell out of it because it is amazing to see that a nearly 17-year-old game still has such a amazing community who just looks forward to finally playing the second game after all those years. And I totally understand that because I'm in the same boat. Like, for me, it is the same thing. But it's still amazing to know that I am not the only person, so it doesn't feel as empty. But yeah, this is fantastic. So again, thank you to all the new people who joined the Siege, which is what I'm calling all of this here. And we will definitely talk about Evil Genius 2 and what we have planned for YouTube and for live streaming next week in just a few. But before we jump into that, we have to cover a little bit of the boring part. Not really boring, but what else did we do last week? Well, I played a lot of Graveyard Keeper, which is my first real playthrough. I've played the game when it first came out, but I have to admit, it didn't really click with me. Like, Graveyard Keeper in its own was alright, but I think what was really missing was the quality of life changes they actually brought to the game over multiple patches and now also 2 expansions. So they really updated the game, and now I'm loving it. Like, I'm completely in love with what you're doing in the game. So if you didn't like to touch Graveyard Keeper because there were just too much tedious things to do and they weren't really as much fun, you should give it a chance. Like, they now have like fast travel immediately into the game, which makes things so much easier. And they even like worker drones you can have. We'll not explain like what they are exactly and where to get them, but they are now worker drones who can all do like the tedious stuff for you, and you don't have to care for it anymore, which again is absolutely fantastic. And you should give Graveyard Keeper a chance if you haven't played it for a while or if you never touched it. You don't need the 2 expansions. The 2 expansions are really just adding new things to the game, but all like the quality of life changes, like the fast travel and the worker minions and whatnot, they are all coming just with patches. So yeah, it's pretty fun, and you should give it a second chance if you haven't yet. Now, the other game I have played quite a bit is Loophero. And oh my god, Loophero is so great. It's a roguelite RPG auto-resolve battler. I don't even know how I can describe Loophero, because yeah, roguelike is definitely a thing, but I think it describes this game badly. Like, I know that some people hate roguelikes, and I've seen people who hate roguelikes actually enjoying the hell out of Loophero. So it's more like, interesting. So yeah, definitely check that game out if you haven't. I love it. I have already a lot of hours in it, and I try to finish it. I have played a little bit less in the last 2 days, which might have to do with some other things I'm doing right now. But yeah, definitely check that out. I'm also still playing Valheim offline, which is still fun, but we are slowly getting closer to finishing that up. I'm playing it with my friends, I'm not playing it on stream. And yeah, we're getting slowly to a point where we are probably finishing Valheim fairly soon. Well, finishing. I mean, it's an early access, there's still tons of stuff missing. So yeah, but it's fun. It's definitely still fun. What else did we do? Oh yeah, So this week, like the biggest news we had this week was definitely that Bethesda or ZeniMax is now joining the Xbox Game Studios. Now I know that some people might say, huh? Didn't that happen like a few months ago? You were absolutely correct. Well, not entirely. They only announced their ambitions to do that, but this buyout had to be sanctioned by multiple governments around the world, and they just did that. Now all the governments who had to sanction this sanctioned it, and now the whole thing is official. And ZeniMax, which is the parent company of Bethesda, Machine Games, and so on and so forth, they are now part of Xbox. And that is, of course, great for Team Xbox because that means they are getting a lot of gaming IPs like Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout, like all those games are now part of the Bethesda Xbox ecosystem from Bethesda. And they also made it clear what they want to do with exclusivities. There's still some people who don't really understand this, but I think that Phil Spencer was very clear on this, saying that they would bring all the new games to places where the Xbox Game Pass is. And right now, Xbox Game Pass is only available on PC and consoles and technically on your mobile phone. But that might change. Maybe Xbox Game Pass is actually coming to Switch at some point, or even crazier, to PlayStation. Like at this point, I would say nothing is off the table, and we will see how that goes. There's one thing, like one game, I'm pretty sure it will not be exclusive, and that would be Indiana Jones. Like I'm pretty sure that Disney doesn't like exclusives, and Indiana Jones will probably still come out on all the other consoles. Like if there is Game Pass or not, doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm curious how that goes, but they have been very clear about this. But one of the bigger parts, which I think is really, really important to note here, is the technologies Xbox got. Like, I know that everyone is remembering Bethesda because of their games, but a lot of people never really talk about the technologies. We have the ID tag engine, or ID tag. I always say ID. I think it's it. tag, yeah, the tag engine, which is like a phenomenal engine. Like it really speaks for themselves when you look at what this engine is doing, and you remind yourself that Doom Eternal is on the Nintendo Switch. And I have watched some gameplay of Doom Eternal recently, where yes, it runs at 30 FPS, 720p, but it runs and looks smooth, and actually it doesn't look bad. Like when you're looking at the textures, when you're looking at the enemies and the weapons and stuff, sure, you notice the 720p, especially on a larger screen, but it still looks decent. And I think that speaks volume to what the tag engine actually can do. Then, of course, Microsoft doesn't really have their own engine. Yes, they have the Slipstream engine, but it doesn't really seem like they want to use it in other games. Or so far, we haven't really heard like another Microsoft studio actually using that engine from Halo Infinite. But with the tag engine, it might actually be now a good time to do that, because till now, Microsoft has mostly used Unreal Engine, and that can get quite expensive. So having at least your own engine at your disposal, you don't have to use it, but having it is a right step into the right direction. The next big feature Microsoft also got is Orion. And if you have never heard of that, Orion was announced 2 years ago by Bethesda at the E3, and it's basically their cloud streaming technology. And cloud streaming is a very important aspect for Microsoft in the years to come, and already is at this point, but it gets even more important. And just having another technology aspect at your disposal is like another big step for them. So there's also then, of course, the Bethesda engine. What is it? The Creator engine or something they're calling it, which is also nice to have. Like, I'm still believing that the engine itself is in a state where they have to put some work in it, and I hope that with the founding of Microsoft, that they can actually take the time to make this engine really good. Like, again, what the engine is doing is definitely fantastic. But in the recent years, you have the feeling as if they didn't really focus on making this engine as good as it could be. And I assume that founding is like a huge part for it. Like, that Microsoft didn't have the time and mostly the money to actually like make it really good. And I hope that will change now. Like, that Microsoft is putting their foot down and is like, you know what? Here, have a badge of engineers, have a badge of money, make it good. Because that's good for us gamers too. Because when Starfield is coming out, you just don't want to see the same thing happening as we had with also Fallout 76. Like, sure, we are still talking about like how gameplay parts were missing and whatnot, but the state the gameplay engine was in and the issues it actually brought to the game with all the bugs and whatnot. Bugs, which by the way have existed in previous games, really tells me that that engine needs some love. And I hope they're working on that. So, yeah, we will see how that goes. But let's talk about next week. So again, huge shout out to all the new people coming to the channel, liking the videos, disliking the videos, writing their comments, subscribing, watching. Like, thank you very much. Definitely makes me humbled. Like, thank you. And next week will be bonkers. So we have multiple events coming. So there will be a lot of YouTube content coming your way. But most importantly, Evil Genius 2 is happening on Friday. Yes, Rebellion gave us an early key, and I will be able to actually showcase the game. But there are a few restrictions we have to talk about. If you haven't seen the video yet, there is an extra early access video for restrictions. And let me just do something very quickly here, because yes, my camera just disappeared and here I am again. Magic. Apparently I haven't completely figured out my desync for the cam yet. I'm truly sorry about that. I'm working on it. However, what I wanted to say is we have some restrictions. The first restrictions is I'm allowed to stream the game for 2 hours. And I will do that on this Friday. And yeah, this is just something you can watch in the background. But I will do that this Friday. And we will start at 5 p.m. CET. That is 12 p.m. EST. And again, there's already a video out there which you should definitely watch to get like all the infos. And we will stream it for 2 hours. Now, when it comes to YouTube, unfortunately, YouTube is even more restricted. I'm only allowed to upload 1 hour of original footage. So that already means you will not get the live stream on YouTube anytime soon. So make sure, if you want to see like 2 hours of Evil Genius 2 right from the beginning, to check out my live stream. If you cannot make it, I will post definitely a link to the VOD in the descriptions. So definitely make sure you're checking out the VOD. And you will find the live stream at trovo.live/ChaosMole. The link is also in the description. No, not on Twitch. I will not stream on Twitch, even though I'm a Twitch partner. I have left Twitch nearly 9 months ago, and I will not go back. It's as simple as that. If you want to know exactly why that is, there is a video also on my channel on that. But we will live stream the 2 hours, and then the 1 hour original content will really be original stuff. I want to do multiple videos where I cover like a lot of things in the game, and I want to utilize the 1 hour as good as I can. There will also be like a first impression video that will not use original footage or it will use original footage which I have already showed or something like that, so it doesn't really count to my 1 hour, because I'm somebody who's going for long-winded explanations on things, and an hour of gameplay, it's pretty easy for me to fill. So yeah, you will see some double footage sometimes here and there. This is not because I'm lazy or anything. It's really just because, well, I have an hour of footage I can use till the release, and I have to make it count. It's as simple as that. But yeah, there will be like an early impression of the game, and I will actually do 2 impression videos. The first impression video will be purely from my Evil Genius perspective, like as somebody who is a fan of the series, who has played the series years ago, and like how well did they actually capture the Evil Genius feeling. That will be the first video. And then the second video will be more about gameplay aspects. So like, how well does this work from a pure management perspective, right? So these are 2 videos I plan. I also want to go a little bit more into detail on the Evil Geniuses. Keep in mind though, I'm restricted to 2 Evil Geniuses in the preview, and that is Maximilian, and then there is Zelika, and unfortunately Ivan and Emmer are the 2s I'm not allowed to showcase. That's how it is. I'm also pretty sure I'm not allowed to showcase the sandbox mode. I have to ask again, but I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to, because I'm only limited to showcase till a certain point in the campaign for Zelika and Maximilian, and they have 2 different campaigns, right? Because every Evil Genius now has their own campaign. And it wouldn't make any sense if they restrict you up to that point, and then in sandbox mode you are allowed to show sandbox mode where you can just do everything, right? It's like, yeah, I can see that it would be weird. I will definitely ask, but I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to show sandbox mode. But there's so much to discuss, and I'm really looking forward to it. So next week, or starting by the end of next week, we will have tons of Evil Genius 2 content coming your way. There will be, of course, other videos. Like, I am not, and I want to make that absolutely clear, I am not a pure Evil Genius channel. I might be a pure Evil Genius, but I'm not a pure Evil Genius channel. So that means there will be other videos, there will be other content, and at some point we might move on to the next game. I'm a variety gamer. I love video games, as long as they are not sport games, and yeah, mostly sport games. So please keep that in mind. I do, though, appreciate everyone who stays even after the Evil Genius 2 craze is over, because, again, there will be more games. And I'm definitely looking forward to more gameplay. Like, I'm looking forward to more strategy games, management games. They definitely exist, and we will cover them, right? But I will not just stick to Evil Genius 2. I want to make that as clear as possible right from the beginning. I will not set any expectations here. Like, I know that there are YouTube channels out there who are only doing like Minecraft, Call of Duty and whatnot. I am not that channel. So please keep that in mind. But if you stick with the channel and stick with me, even though the Evil Genius craze is over, I definitely appreciate that. But for the next weeks, this channel will partially become an only Evil Genius channel. No, we also have some other stuff to cover, but there will be a lot of Evil Genius videos. Like maybe 80% Evil Genius and the rest of the 20% is others. And we'll see how that goes. But with that said, I think we are done here. So thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Evil Genius news, gameplay, and of course all the preview stuff, don't forget to subscribe. And I think hit the bell icon, as people love to say it. YouTube terminology. I still have to get used to it. But definitely make sure you do that so that you are getting informed when the next episode is live. And we will have some Evil Genius videos before Friday, because there are still a few things I want to do. And then on Friday, we start the whole thing with the preview of Evil Genius 2. And don't forget to check out my live stream. Again, it's trovo.live/ChaosMole. And you can join the already amazing community I've built over 4 years of live streaming. So definitely check it out. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you next time. Stay evil. Bye bye.